So I had an idea with the FAQs video where I showed my oldest pair of shoes, which were a pair of AND1 basketball shoes. Now, they're still holding up pretty well. I have no idea why I've kept them this long, but I have them. So I figured, let's see if they hold up. Feeling a bit crunchy around here, but for the most part they look good. I don't know how comfortable they're going to be these days, but I'm going to take them to the basketball court and just see if they last. I also recently, not recently, but I'd say in the last 6 months, bought a brand new pair of AND1s. So we'll do a little comparison as well. I don't know if these will last. They may also fall apart straight away, but we got a new pair just in case. This is the new pair. They are super egregious, but lime green. I had to. You already know. I actually really like this silhouette. I just don't like the new branding of what AND1 does. It looks very Kmart, very big W. I think if they went back to that, you know, that bloke with the handles, probably better. But I've never worn these. Let's take these out to the court. I believe, you know, performance-wise, AND1's doing quite well with their stuff now. And you know, just looking at the shoe, it looks decent. Obviously, a better colorway would look better, but you know, when you see these online, they look like they were lime green. When you get them in hand, they're tennis ball yellow. That just seems to be an ongoing thing for me. Maybe I'm colorblind. Maybe they know this color wouldn't sell as well as a lime green, so they change it to try and entice people like me. I don't know. But we're gonna go to the basketball court, get some hoops in. We're still in lockdown in the Newcastle area, so this is my bit of yard time. Let's get it. Alright, so full disclosure, we didn't go that day. I don't know if you can tell, but I was super tired when I made that little intro, and by the time I kind of went outside, I looked and seen it was about to piss down, so I let it go. And if I'm being honest, I totally forgot about this video. Today I just went to a local school that has a basketball court and got some shots in. To be 100% fair, I am super rusty, like super rusty. On top of that, I thought it'd be a great idea to test out some new kit. I bought myself a little gimbal and was, you know, playing with the follow feature. So sometimes it works, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it's following me, but the hoop isn't in the shot. Sometimes it's on the hoop and I'm not in shot. So bear with me. I'm playing with my new toys. I'll be honest, I was missing a bunch of shots, right? Because I'm rusty, super rusty, but there was a bunch of shots that were missed because of the low roof. I got a high arc in my shot and I had to adjust it and more push it to get it going. You'll hear here in a second like it hitting the roof when I'm making the shot. The other one is the double rim. Double rim is my mortal enemy. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Back to the video. Turned into more of me battling a double rim than that. It's because they're already broken in or what, but the old ones feel better. I definitely don't think they'll last that much longer. They feel better. I've always thought that logo looks like some Kmart shit. So if I'm being all the way honest, I really thought the old AND1s would crumble or fall apart or like I'd tear through them like Zion, but they didn't. And if I'm really being honest, I don't know if it was because they're obviously broken in, they're that old, but they were heaps more comfortable than the new ones. Not so much underfoot, but more around the ankle part, because they do have like a heap of cushioning. They have a heap of cushioning around here, and that just felt super comfortable. And for me, I don't know, I'm looking at them. Doesn't even seem to be any sole separation, no nothing. They just work. There's not huge amounts of cushioning in the heel either, but I honestly felt like these were a lot more comfortable. These just, I don't know. And I would have got these in like 2005. These aren't like Nikes, they don't have a date code on them. But yeah, I got these when I was working at Amart All Sports. So back then, retailing it, recommended retail was $150, but Amart price $144.99. Now, Amart had this thing where they could never be on recommended retail. They were like, we always have to be like $5 cheaper or something. And you know, $5 is $5, so I'm not mad at it. AND1 was having a huge moment, and out of nowhere we got AND1 in store, and I was stoked because I'd already bought like 5 or 6 pairs by this point. These are probably the worst AND1s in terms of looks that I'd ever bought, but somehow I kept them. To be fair, I think my favourite ones, the Phenoms, my dog ate, so like, or chewed them up a bit. But yeah, I would have got these in like 2005, and I took these to the court, and I wasn't gentle, and I put on a bit of COVID weight, so they handle all the abuse. They honestly did. I can't fault them at all. Now, the new model. Look, don't get me wrong, they're not a bad shoe. I felt supportive. They were comfortable, but not as comfortable as the old ones. I somehow managed to scratch up there. I don't even know how. We might get some B-roll to show that. But like, again, I was super heavy on these. I wasn't trying to be gentle or anything like that. I was abusing the fuck out of both pairs. No real wear on them. And I was out there for a couple of hours. You know, there's only going to be like a couple minutes footage because obviously you don't want to see me miss shots for 2 hours, yeah? Double rims. My mortal enemy, honestly. Now, from what I'm hearing from people that actually play, AND1 is actually not... They're not regaining the popularity that they once had, like back in the day when they had the mixtape series and everything like that. But at a grassroots level, like kids playing basketball, they're all about that. They're doing the uniforms. At one point, they were doing the NBL uniforms. The shoes look good. Like, all their shoes look good. They've brought back a couple of retros, like the Tai Chi's with the mixtape stuff all over them. For me, though, the worst thing they did was change the logo. That logo there looks like Andrew Gay's logo or Kmart logo, some cheap, nasty sort of stuff. Whereas that there, I think looks better, but it's that logo, or that logo, probably easier to see. That logo there, I had that on all types of clothing and hats back in the day. To me, that was huge. Maybe it was because it's like a silhouette type thing, similar like to how Jordan did. Shaq had his own silhouette image, but I don't know. The trash talking tees, that silhouette, the mixtapes, everything encompassing in that brand was huge. The DVDs, the Professor, Bone Collector, like all the, man, Skip to Malou, like that whole thing was a moment. And I feel like they've completely gone away from that. In America, they're in like Kmart, Walmart, that sort of thing. They're cheap as chips. Over here, I think AND1 was in Foot Locker for a minute, but like a real quick minute. You can get blank jersey shorts at Rebel, but for the most part, there's no presence in Australia. None. The NBL thing happened, but as quick as it came, it went. I feel like they make great product. I feel like they always have. Because they're a niche market, they're never going to compete with, you know, your Nike and Adidas, but their actual shoes, same with like a Peak, right? The actual shoes can compete with them. I feel like my Peak Tony Parker 5s, I think they are, I got them for a crazy price when they had a sale on the Peak Australia website, and they are super comfortable to ball in, to go to the gym. I've used them for all that. Super comfortable. But these niche brands, because they are, you know, solely focused on basketball, Peak not so much, but definitely AND1, it's hard. So for me, if you're gonna go that route, you've got to focus on stuff outside of court. You got to focus on the fashion aspect, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, how they had the mixtape series, the clothing to go along with it. It was all tied in together, and it was just dope. Like, there was nothing else you could say. It was dope. Like, I remember getting, was it maybe Stealth magazine, or maybe even like XXL magazine, and there'd be like ads for AND1 shoes. I saw the AND1 Phenom going, oh man, I need that. 100% need that. Duck into, I think it was Tugger Foot Locker. I'm like, yo, you got the new AND1 Phenom? And they're like, yeah, it just came in. I'm like, bet, I want that. 180 bucks. Like nothing. And back then, 180 bucks was definitely something. Yeah, I don't think there's a conclusion in this. There's no conclusion, there's no anything for AND1. I feel like if they're content with what they're doing, so be it. But I definitely think they could make some improvements. Obviously, at the local Australian level, they're dictated by what head office in America is going to do. So they can't really do much. They essentially will license it here and do what they can with the license, right? Actually, this is my takeaway. Like with the New Balance episode, it's getting you to think about other brands. Because obviously we do get stuck into that, you know, dual lane of Nike and Adidas. But New Balance are doing crazy things. I used to say when I worked in retail, right? If you want something that looks dope, get some Nikes. You want something that performs well as a running shoe, get Asics. And in this case, if you want something that performs well in a basketball sense, why not look at Peak or AND1? I got a pair of each of them, and they're probably more comfortable than any Nike basketball shoe I've ever had. And yeah, I do have mostly retros, but I've also got some Kyries too. It is quite interesting when you see there's a fair amount of videos, TikToks, everything like that, people wearing Jordans, different shoes from around the same time now, and they just melt. I took these to the court and they were super comfy. Like, that's insane. 2005 I bought them. 2005 I would have bought them 100%. Insane. But what do you guys think? Did you ever buy AND1 shoes back in the day? Were you all about the mixtapes, the DVDs? Man, I still got them 100%. Not so much the clothing, I think it's all gone by now. It's probably in Vinnie's or whatever. But let us know in the comments what you think about AND1, and if there's any other brands that aren't one of those top 3 or 4 brands that you mess with that I may not have even heard of. This has been another episode of Creased. Peace.